What's up, YouTube? Jersey Jules back again. June 8th, 2018. Somewhere around my 15 or 16 month post-op surgiversary, if you want to call it that, for the vertical sleeve gastrectomy. In case you're just tuning into my channel. So 16 months ago, I had the vertical sleeve gastrectomy done by Dr. Nicholas Bertha of the New Jersey Bariatric Institute, and the man, I could definitely credit the man with saving my life. I've dropped a significant amount of weight, and I'll discuss some of the statistics in a second. But I just want to update you. I've had my 1 year. It was a little delayed. It was a couple of weeks ago. It was well after 1 year. I just had some scheduling conflicts. But it was supposed to be my 1 year follow-up appointment with my surgeon following my swallow study that I did. And I did the swallow study. That's where you swallow a little bit of radioactive material or some kind of fluorescent material, I don't know. And they do it live under an x-ray. And they said my pouch looked great. It looked exactly like the day they did it. All the things inside that were supposed to be working were working fine. There was no leak back. There was no leak down, or whatever you want to call it. So that was good. So then I see my doctor about a month and a half later after, like I said, some scheduling conflicts, and he's really happy where I'm at weight wise, and he said that I'm probably at my body's natural weight. Like, this is probably where I'm at, is where I'm going to be. And he says most patients, if they can maintain their weight plus or minus 5 to 10 pounds for a period of, he says he doesn't know exactly how long. It seems to be about a year to 18 months following surgery. If they can maintain that weight, then they're probably going to be successful and not gain the weight back. But they don't know exactly how long that is. But he did say like plus or minus 5 or 10 pounds up and down. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. My starting weight was 296-ish, somewhere around that ballpark, and I was like a 42 or 43% BMI. And that's one of the topics we're going to discuss, some BMI charts, some Wonderland issues, and some harsh words. So, he was very happy. He says, he feels that at this point the surgery for me was a success as long as I can maintain this. I'm probably not going to get any lighter. This is just my frame. And I'm going to, maybe if you're lucky, I'll take my shirt off and show you my scars and my flab and what I'm left with. But as you can see, like, this is just my frame. I'm a large guy. So the starting weight was 296-ish. Heavy weight was like 320 at one point in my life. Today I'm about I float between 222 and 226 or 227. I'm 225 right now. I'm 5'11", and I'm still considered obese if you go by the BMI charts, and that's what I want to discuss today. So, first though, I want to ask everybody out there, what words, what word did you find more offensive being overweight your entire life? Was it being called fat, or was it being called morbidly obese? Like, which one was the worst thing to be called? Because I can tell you, growing up and being heavy my whole life, the word fat was something I heard constantly from classmates and kids in school, and like they're just really harsh kids. And I remember this one kid in fourth grade or fifth or fourth grade. I was about 185 pounds at the time. This one kid, I'll just say his name was Paul. I won't say his last name in case he's out there watching, but he could go fuck himself if he is. He made up a little nursery rhyme about me, which I remember to this day. He used to say, "Fatty, fatty, 2x4, can't fit through the kitchen door," and he would do these motions: "Fatty, fatty, 2x4, can't fit through the kitchen door," that type of stuff. Which, I mean, is kind of funny, but it's also I was a little surprised at how much it didn't make sense, because, I mean, clearly at 185 pounds, I could easily fit through the kitchen door. I had no problem fitting through the kitchen door. I was in the kitchen all day eating. But kids are usually a master of insults. So they're really harsh, children, especially under like 13 years of age, like when you're in those young grammar school years, kids are really brutal and honest. And it was hurtful, and it was the word fat was definitely bothered me my whole life, being called fat, but not as much as the first time I was called morbidly obese. For some reason, that really like it was like a knife going into my chest and twisting. Even by a medical professional, just to be called morbidly obese and see it on your chart, it just takes on a whole different meaning. Like for me, the word fat, I learned to deal with. I learned to accept it, and like it kind of meant like jolly and fat, and just I was the fat guy. I was Fat Jules, or whatever you want to call me. And it really didn't bother me anymore. Like the harshness, once you're out of grammar school and school age, and you get to high school, it just, it is what it is. It's just a word. It doesn't, you learn to deal with it. But it was pretty hurtful growing up. But as a grown adult, to see that term, morbidly obese, written on a medical form, and have a doctor tell you you're morbidly obese, like, it's just soul crushing. I will say it was a real wake up call. So, what is morbidly obese? Let's discuss that. According to today's BMI charts, which I don't know when most of them are developed, but I kind of feel they really need to be updated, because I'm going to tell you, I got some statistics written down we'll go over. But morbidly obese is considered to have a body mass index of 39 to 40. So that's the edge. 39 to 40 BMI is considered morbidly obese. 29 to 30 is the obese range, and a body mass index of 24 to 25 is considered overweight. I can tell you probably 80% of Americans are overweight if you go by those BMI charts, if not more. So basically, right now I'm 225 pounds. I'm 5'11". I'm 31.4 BMI according to these charts, and I'm still considered obese. If I was 255, I would be a 35.6 BMI, which would just put me into that range of needing being qualified for the surgery, but I would have to have some medical issues like high blood pressure, heart conditions, diabetes, something along those lines. 295 was where on the BMI charts for me, it put me over the edge of insurance just paying for the surgery, because I was considered that morbidly obese range. 295 put me at 41.4 BMI. So according to my body fat percentages right now at 225, I did that body fat meter, and I showed you what I have in one of my previous videos. It's a little unit you plug in all the numbers, and you hold it, and it sends an electric current through you, and it's supposed to be pretty accurate, telling you your body fat. So I'm around 20% body fat, which is still a little bit high, but I'm comfortable at it. It's easy. I don't have to work too much to maintain this. So I'm at 20% body fat. So that means at 225, 45 pounds of my body weight is body fat. Okay. If I lose 45 pounds of body fat and go down to 0% body fat, which we all know is absolutely impossible to be 0% body fat. I think there's a few people in the world that have a medical condition where they're actually 0% body fat, and it's actually a fatal condition. They have to eat every so often. They have no body fat. It's a very rare disorder. But if I was 0% body fat, I would still weigh 185 pounds. If I was 10% body fat, that would put me around 203 pounds. Now, for those of you that don't understand what 10% body fat is, somebody like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is probably in a 10 to 12% body fat, and he's 275 pounds, 6'4", and shredded to all hell. So those are the body fat percentages. So realistically, for a 44-year-old male, it's just an average male. I'm content at 20%. Maybe I'll try to drop to 18 or 17, be a little bit more help. But I don't know. That's where I'm at. That's just what I wanted to say. Now, let's go back to that number of 185 pounds at 0% body fat. 20 years ago, the average male in America weighed 180 pounds. That's 20 years ago. It's going back to like 1988. The average male was 180 pounds. Whatever the average height was, 5'8", 5'9", that was the average male weight. Which, by the way, if you go by the body mass index charts, is still considered overweight. Today, 20 years later, the average male is 15 pounds heavier than he was 20 years ago. Meaning the average male right now in the United States is 196 pounds. Okay? Which is actually considered obese on most BMI chart indexes, unless you're 6'4" and taller. Then you would be considered right at the upper limit of healthy, just creeping into overweight. So even if I was down to 10% body fat, which is shredded, which is, like I said, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, most athletes you see out there that are they're completely shredded are right around 10 to 8%. Even if I was at 10% at 203 pounds, I would still be considered overweight on these body mass index charts. So my message to you is don't put too much credit into these charts, and don't stress trying to be within these charts acceptable ranges too much. As long as you're going in the right direction and you're living a healthy life. So that's my message to you as far as these body mass index charts go. I think they're complete BS. I think they need to be updated to reflect the average American male or female. And again, I'm doing the numbers for the male because I'm a guy. Females, the numbers are all very similar. Obviously, the weight is lower, the BMI is lower, the body fat's a little higher for females. Acceptable body fat for females is a little higher. But just check the charts, see where you fall in those charts, and forget about it. Don't pay attention to the charts much. It's going to frustrate you. It's going to drive you nuts, which leads me into my next topic. This Wonderland bullshit I keep hearing about. Okay? I didn't know what it was. I had to ask my cousin what it meant, but Wonderland is apparently the first time you see the number 1 is the beginning number on your weight on a scale. So 199 would be Wonderland. Okay, so that's when these people say, "Oh, my journey to Wonderland." Don't get discouraged. Don't get hung up too much on this whole Wonderland nonsense, because I know myself, I will never see Wonderland. I haven't seen Wonderland since I've been in 7th grade, before I crept over 200-pound mark, and I just physically could not get down to Wonderland. Like I said, I would have to be 7% body fat to be like 199 or 197, which would still be considered obese on the charts, like I said. So don't get hung up on this whole Wonderland nonsense. Look at your body type, look at your physique, your underlying structure, and set yourself a realistic goal of where you think your body can be. Like, because when I went to my doctor, he said, you know, he didn't stress that I need, oh, well, you're still 225, you know, you really should be down on his BMI chart. He didn't even stress that. He looked at me, he says, "You look great, you look fantastic. You know, I can see you got a good solid base, and you lost a ton of weight, you're in decent shape, you lift weights." And he was actually happy with the way I looked and felt, and he says, "No, you're fine." And he didn't stress, he didn't push like a lot of other doctors would push me to lose more weight. And, you know, you're not following your diet. You know, you really should be 175 pounds. Right? You know, it's impossible for me to ever be 175, 185 pounds. He knows that. He's seen my physique, my frame, and that's where I was. You know, I mean, he's content with what I've done so far. He says I'm doing it, and I'm content where I'm at. So just be realistic of where you want to be. Be realistic of where you can be. You know, you're not gonna, turn your body into, you're not gonna look like guys. You're not gonna look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or The Rock. It's not gonna happen. Females, you're not gonna look like one of these runway models, like 105 pounds with the thigh gap. If that's not your underlying physique, it's just, it's impossible to turn into something you're not. So just be content, be happy, live your life. And don't beat yourself up too much. if you eat a little junk, like I don't eat super strict. I still eat a little junk here and there, and you have to. I mean, it's just that simple. You can't live your life so strict with your calorie intake and your food to the point it's just obsessive. Like right now, I pretty much eat what I want when I want, small amounts, within reason. You know, the types of foods within reason. I kind of just try to balance it out, and you know, I work out so I burn the extra calories there, and I'm kind of content and happy where I'm at. So those are my couple of pieces of advice to you. Now I may take my shirt off to show you my scars and my flab that I'm left with. And to be honest with you, I need a few more female viewers, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. And I'm just gonna show you what I mean about this whole body mass index bullshit. You know, my frame, to show you what my frame is. All right, so hold on a second. I'm gonna go off camera and take my shirt off. All right, coming off. Ready, ladies? All right. Here I am. 225 pounds. Obviously, you can see I got some meat on me. I'm a meaty guy. I'm a big guy. These are my scars. I'll show you. These are my scars right there. This is the worst one. A couple here. And this is pretty much all the skin that I'm left with. You know? I don't have the real stretchy skin. I wasn't that big in the body. I was 300, so you know, I'm kind of happy with the skin. I just kind of look like a 44-year-old dad. You know, the average 44-year-old guy you're going to see on the street is going to have the same amount of loose, flabby skin right there as I do. So I'm not, you know, obsessing about it. I'm content with where I'm at. I'm happy with my physique right now. I feel a lot healthier, and I mean, the bottom line is I'm not entering any fitness competitions. I'm not doing any bodybuilding competitions, and most of us aren't. Most of us won't. So just live your life. Live your life a little bit healthier than you were, you know, each day. It's not, you know, it's not a competition. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I really, really wanted to talk about. I talked about the word fat. Right? We talked about that. We talked about obese, morbidly obese. We talked about the body mass index, Wonderland, all that stuff. And I showed you my stuff. So, you know, what else can we do? I mean, where else can we go from here with this video? I think I'm probably going to end it on this note. Yeah. So, like I said, positive words of encouragement for this week or this month or whenever I do another video, blah, 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 whatever. Don't get hung up on the BMI. Don't get hung up on being society's norm of where you should be. Obviously, you can see I'm 225 right now. Could I get down to 205? Probably. Would it be a struggle? Most definitely. Could I get down to 185? Absolutely not. Could I get down to where I'm actually supposed to be on the BMI chart? Because according to the BMI chart, at my height, 5'11", I'm probably supposed to be somewhere in the 178, 175 range. And as you can see, that's under the 0% body fat for my size and my frame. So that's the things you need to consider in wrapping this up. Know what your frame is, know what your natural size and your natural weight is, and then kind of gauge what you're doing from there, and you can learn to manipulate it a little bit here and there. But if I fluctuate 5 to 10 pounds up and down from this weight, you know, I'm fine. If I grow old, 75 years old, and I'm still this size, you know, whatever, it is what it is. You know, I'm just happy to still be here. I'm happy to be living a little bit healthier of a lifestyle. I'm happy to just have more energy to spend with my kids and wife, and want to do more things. And you know, that's all this end game is about, man. Your end game is about just living a better, longer quality of life. It's not about fashion shows or entering fitness competitions. I mean, if that's what you're into, if that's what you set as a goal, fine. But for me personally, it was just being around for my kids, being around for my wife, being around, you know, for the people that love me, a longer period of time and a better quality of time. And that's all it's about. And I'm doing that right now. So yeah, I'm going to sign off. There's Jersey Jules signing off for today. I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. I'm sure I'll find some other bullshit nonsense to want to talk about. But until then, take it easy, guys.